Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nick. This is my mom, Jen.
Hi, guys.
And today we will be watching Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, I consider him one of the best directors of the 21st century. We saw Interstellar before we did the channel, which is magnificent. And then after the channel, I showed you Inception, and eventually we'll do the Dark Knight trilogy. But he's just such a technical master with what he's able to pull off with practical effects, and he has much like Tarantino, he's always able to get a really high quality cast of actors. So this one stars Cillian Murphy as Dr. Oppenheimer. He's been a supporting actor in most of Nolan's movies, so it's fun to see him become the leading man.
Cool. Yeah.
And from what I remember in the trailer, the cast is pretty stacked. There's Matt Damon. I believe Robert Downey Jr. was also in this, because the Golden Globes were just last night, and I think I saw him give a speech for that.
Okay.
So I'm sure this won a few awards on that. But Dr. Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, for good or ill, he's one who I think he quoted Indian scripture when he said, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." And I've seen a few kind of archival video clips of him after the bombs were used on Japan, and you could just tell he looks dead inside because of he realizes what he unleashed on the world. Because it changed global history.
Of course, yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see kind of how they depict the journey to making the bomb, and I think what happens after, based on what I saw in the trailer. But it also just makes me laugh how Barbenheimer became a thing.
Oh yeah,
just
came out at the same time. Yeah.
But just such a unique cultural thing. The two movies are on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I love seeing pictures of people with Halloween costumes split in half. One half is Barbie, the other half is Oppenheimer in his suit. It's kind of a fun little thing. But yeah, I'm very stoked to check this out. So without further ado, let's get watching. Whoa. Prometheus, yep.
The so-called derogatory information in your indictment of me cannot be fairly understood except in the context of my life and my work.
Honestly, I forget. The whole hearing took a month.
An ordeal.
Well, I've only read the transcripts.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
I thought Berkeley had the leading theoretical
It is him.
physics
Tony Goldwyn.
Yeah.
Yes, once I built it.
I need to go to the lecture, sir. Why? It's Niels Bohr.
Oh, no, not you, Oppenheimer.
You finish counting those plates.
Oh, man.
Oh no.
Oh.
Putting cyanide in the teacher's apple. I only know a lot of the names, like Niels Bohr and Ivan Oppenheimer stuff from Big Bang.
Yeah.
Niels, meet J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Oh.
What's the
Oh.
stand for?
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh.
You're at my lecture. You ask the only good question.
Cool.
You can lift the stone without being ready for the snake that's revealed.
He's got a German accent or
I think Niels Bohr was Dutch or
Dutch,
German.
maybe,
or...
yeah. He's doing a good accent.
Yeah.
I'll send word.
Wormhole.
Dodged a bullet there.
It's like Dwight with Stanley's coffee.
Yeah.
No! And to be able to see the world in such a different way. And
Yeah.
it's like that one episode of Doctor Who when they met Vincent van Gogh. He explained how he saw colors in the sky.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
After the war, he was world-renowned, the great man of physics, and I was determined to get him to run the Institute.
A different role for him, eh?
Yeah.
I'm told he's there most afternoons. I've always wondered why you didn't involve him in the Manhattan Project, greatest scientific mind of our time.
Who is it?
Oh, that be...
Einstein published his theory of relativity more.
Oh, that's Einstein?
Wow. Wow, really looks like him from here.
Yeah.
Albert.
He does not look happy.
What did you say to him? Oh, he's fine.
Doctor, your time in Europe, you seem to meet with a wide range of other countries' physicists.
Oh, is this like McCarthy thing? Like un-American
kind of,
stuff?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
foreign contacts? And is that David Krumholtz?
It is. Wow.
Whoa.
How surprising.
He's a long way from an elf, eh?
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
It's a long way to Zurich. If we get any skinnier, we're gonna lose you.
Man, he is like unrecognizable.
Yes.
This is German you have to seek out.
Heisenberg.
Right.
Ooh.
And what's his name? David Krumholtz's name in the show?
They said Isadora Rabi.
Ah.
I've never heard of him, but it feels like we're assembling like the Avengers of like scientific minds, you know, but all these legendary figures, you know, that have like principles and books and buildings named after them. And
When do you start teaching?
I've got my first in an hour.
Seminar?
Pupil.
One student? That's it?
I'm teaching something no one here has dreamt of.
One student. Probably Sheldon. Not that he's
Is light made up of particles or waves?
dying to teach somebody.
Quantum mechanics says it's both. How can it be both?
Ah. Oh, even a girl.
Why would they have started a file on Dr. Oppenheimer before the war?
My assumption is that it was connected to his left-wing political activities.
which back in those days was like being a Satan worshiper in the eyes of, you know, American politicians.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. Frank.
Brothers.
Yeah.
You remember Jackie?
Robert, I want you to meet.
Was that Florence Pugh?
I don't know. I didn't see her well enough.
This is
Still Jackie.
Hello, still Jackie.
Chevalier. You're in languages.
And your reputation precedes you.
Oh, this guy played Torsten on my Viking show.
Oh.
I want you to cut off my arm. In fact, I've always hated this arm.
It is her.
Oh.
Yelena.
Robert.
Oh, Count Chevalier. A union meeting in service last month.
Right, yes.
She gonna become his wife?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I like my wiggle room too.
Oh. Oh, all right.
Just saying, I would happily become a communist to be with her. It's actually the first time I can recall seeing nudity in a Nolan film.
Yeah.
And now I am become death.
Oh.
Destroyer of worlds.
Oh, that thing you said at the beginning.
Yeah.
That Mesa we saw today. One of my favorite places in the world. And tomorrow we'll climb it. What's it called? Los Alamos.
Oh. I think that's like the location where they made the bomb.
Okay.
A bomb.
I told you, Robert, no more fucking flowers.
What's her deal?
I don't know.
Understand what you want from
I
me.
don't want anything from you.
Well, you say that and then you call.
Well, don't answer.
What you talk about, Willis?
Richard, Dr. Bush, what brings you two up north?
Oh, we were just talking about Stranger Things earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Richard, you tell Ruth I'll be down in Pasadena Thursday. My wife, Kitty, and being a Communist Party member.
Oh, so he was married more than once.
I guess so. Well, not sure if they said that he was married to Florence Pugh's character.
Okay.
At least you didn't bring me flowers.
What, that he's getting married, maybe?
Or he's with someone else. And
Yeah.
I just don't get what her
Yeah.
problem was.
Yeah.
Brilliance makes up for a lot.
Don't alienate the only people in the world that understand what you do.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that understand.
Really? We've all heard about Einstein and Ziller's letter to Roosevelt warning him the Germans could make a bomb, and I know what it means.
Ooh.
And I don't. It's not your people they're herding into camps. It's mine.
I brought the charges against Robert.
Who did?
Some former staff member of the Joint Congressional Committee was a rabid anti-communist named Borton.
We've already heard from Admiral Strauss that these isotopes could be useful to our enemies in the production of atomic weapons.
Congressman, you could use a shovel in making atomic weapons. In fact, you do. But more useful than a sandwich.
Because he said he had 2 children, I think? This is the first one, I think. But...
Okay, the baby's crying uncontrollably.
And she's
And she's sitting there drinking, so maybe you should
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. I'm ashamed to ask.
Anything.
Oh, this is that guy who runs like the communist society or whatever.
We're awful people. Selfish, awful people. Forget I asked.
Selfish, awful people. They don't know. They're selfish and awful.
Well, I mean, passing your baby off to someone else is kind of pushing it, but...
I thought you might know.
Dr. Oppenheimer. I'm Colonel Groves.
There he is.
Matt Damon.
They made me take over the Manhattan Engineer District. Now I'm looking for a project director. Why don't you have a Nobel Prize?
Why aren't you a general?
They're making me one for this.
Perhaps I'll have the same luck.
A Nobel Prize for making a bomb?
Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. You're talking about turning theory into a practical weapon system faster than the Nazis. The man they've undoubtedly put in charge will have made that leap instantly.
Who do you think they put in charge?
Werner Heisenberg.
You know the name? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, but yeah, he met him earlier, and like a lot of the...
Oh, right, yeah.
And a lot of the scientists that the Nazis had working on like rockets and other weaponry, eventually they moved to the West, and they were instrumental for the space program for like shuttles.
Focused on one goal, one point in space and time. And it comes together here. A secret laboratory.
Sick. And where is that?
Equipment, housing, the works. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Don't they keep their families there too and everything?
Well,
Yeah.
school, church, yeah.
There's a boys' school we'll have to commandeer, and the local Indians come up here for burial rites, but apart from that, nothing. 40 miles, any direction.
Don't build on top of the burial ground.
Yeah.
Bad things happen.
Heisenberg, Diebner, both are Bohr. What do these men have in common?
The greatest minds on atomic theory.
Yes, and? As much as you like.
Good old Jack Quaid.
I've got some skeletons. They put me in charge. They need us.
Until they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, he's wearing a military uniform.
Yeah. I imagine they would give him some sort of like a provisional
Honorary
rank.
Yeah.
Who's running theoretical?
I am?
That's what I was afraid of. You spread too thin.
So you take theoretical.
No.
Yeah.
I don't wish the culmination of 3 centuries of physics to be a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
What was the first?
Take off that ridiculous uniform. You're a scientist. They need us for who we are. So be yourself.
Damn it, man. I'm a scientist, not a soldier.
Whose work is this?
Tellers.
What do you take it to mean?
Point of no return, massive explosive force. But this time, the chain reaction doesn't stop.
It would ignite the atmosphere.
Oh.
Right.
That's not good.
No.
Then you stop, and you share your findings with the Nazis. So neither side destroys the world.
Yeah, I wouldn't really rely on Hitler to make any kind of rational decisions, you know.
The real picture emerges.
Bottom line.
The chances of an out-of-control nuclear reaction are near zero.
Near zero.
That's not total zero.
Yeah.
Apparently, the government's not sharing any research with the Russians. He mentioned that if anyone had anything they wanted to pass on, I just thought you should know.
I'm just making conversation, you know?
Yeah.
They so casually mention these things.
Brat is down. She's not a real good mama, hey?
No.
No presidential cabinet nominee has failed to be confirmed since 1925. This is just how the game is played. It's in the bag, Lewis.
Oh, as soon as they say that, it's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halifax, 1917. A cargo ship carrying munitions explodes in the harbor. The biggest man-made explosion in history.
Go Halifax, I guess.
Here's the amount of uranium Oak Ridge refined all of last month.
Jeez.
The Russians have a bomb. We're supposed to be years ahead of them, but...
Forgive me, Doctor. But I was there.
Oppenheimer. Klaus Fuchs.
How long have you been British?
Since Hitler told me I wasn't German.
How long have you been British?
The Russians have a bomb. Truman needs to know what's next.
What's next? There's no proof there was a spy at Los Alamos.
Robert.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Oh, Remy Mal.
The first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction.
AKA the guy that killed
James Bond.
Then there's only really one question I need answered here today. In light of the current AEC guidelines, would you clear Dr. Oppenheimer today? Would you clear Dr. Oppenheimer today?
I mean, from what we've seen, he has the littlest to do with the communist stuff
Exactly.
than many of the other guys, right?
He's all
The other
about
people.
science and the universe,
Yeah.
not politics.
Yeah.
That's like one of those, like, when you're trying to raise money for a certain
Yeah,
goal, you
yeah.
like shade in a certain area.
I've had a lot of
Things that have potentially compromised him.
Oh, he's going to see her.
Doesn't matter who I associate with.
Yeah.
I don't.
What is with her?
Yeah.
Can you dissect her thinking
no,
here?
not at all. I
Your
don't know.
with the female
Feminine,
mind.
I just have no idea.
What did you have to see her?
She had indicated a great desire to see me before we left. At that time, I couldn't, but I felt.
Nice for all this to come out in a committee with her
Yeah, I
right
don't
there.
know why she's here, though. It's not that she could offer.
Or like as a witness or anything.
Yeah.
You asked me to come, and I'm glad I did. But I can't see you again.
But what if I need you?
She seems very not flaky, but what's the word? They're very just like her passions run hot and cold.
Pulling and then pushing away.
Yeah.
Dr. Oppenheimer, it's an honor. Please, take a seat.
Fraser.
Yeah.
That's his son.
Results of surveillance conducted on subject indicate further possible Communist Party connections. Subject met with and spent considerable time with one Jean Tatlock, communist.
Oh, Casey Affleck.
Yep.
Pash made it clear he had no intention of leaving any witness left to prosecute. Now, the FBI talked him down, but that's the man you're dancing with.
It's like a mad dog type, you know.
Yeah.
This is a man who has killed communists with his own hands.
I'm not the judge of who should or should not have information. It's my business to stop it from going through illegally. Would you be a little more specific?
So I'm thinking whatever incident they were talking about, this conversation here, someone ends up getting killed.
Oh.
They felt my time would be better spent in Europe determining the status of the Nazi bomb project.
Who did?
General Groves. He transferred me to London.
So to keep Oppenheimer and his friends safe, he moved, the
threat.
seeming
The threat.
sociopath away.
Yeah.
Early Christmas present for you all?
Oh.
Is it big enough
To end the war.
to end all war?
Well, we know now. No.
Yeah.
It's a new world.
Yeah.
I'll be out there doing what I can, but you are an American Prometheus, the man who gave them power to destroy themselves.
If I called.
Oh. She killed herself.
So she sounds almost like manic or like there's mental instability or emotional problems.
Yeah.
There was chloral hydrate in her blood.
Oh.
What's happening?
So I think he's saying like the evidence doesn't match like the story.
Oh.
So like they made it look like she had killed herself.
Oh. Because she's communist, right?
Yeah.
But that was the recommendation of the AEC, was it not?
After hours of discussion about the best response.
Yeah, let's just move that.
Flowers.
Well, I asked what Truman should do, right? The world's changed. It's not fascism, but communism that now threatens our survival.
Lewis.
Yeah, trading one boogeyman for the other.
Yeah.
William Borden, Joint Committee on Atomic Energy.
Oh, yes.
During the war, I was a pilot.
So that's the guy they said shared the file with the FBI to kind of get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Progress? 2 years and $1 billion worth?
Ooh.
Back in the 40s, that was.
You and Einstein with your letter to Roosevelt saying we could build a bomb.
Against Germany.
That's not how weapons manufacture works, Sillard.
Opie, you have to help.
Well, they can't have spent all this time and money and everything and now say, oh, no, but we don't want to use it. Or we don't think you should use it.
I've taken Kyoto off the list due to its cultural significance to the Japanese people. Also, my wife and I honeymooned there. It's a magnificent city.
So casual about talking about which cities to wipe out. And
yeah.
this will be the big test.
There's
There's a further observation post on that hill 20 miles away.
That's his brother, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, the lack of gloves in this scene is...
I know.
After seeing Chernobyl, like anything with radioactive material, just, you know.
Even Doc Brown with the plutonium, right? Plutonium?
Yeah, plutonium. But this is a little more excusable because, like, in this era, they're exploring what, you know, these sort of things can do. So it's like,
true.
You know, when your boss develops tumors and dies at 50, then he's like, okay, we need gloves and suits and...
I'll send a message. It's gone our way. Take in the sheets.
Wind's picking up at 0, not the rain. Lightning circling.
Yeah, they would have to account for the weather, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's heavy enough. If you're flying in, you just drop it, right?
Well, even if you're dropping it, the wind could blow it like off course.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, right.
Could affect the plane.
Yeah.
In exactly 1 hour, 58 minutes, we'll know.
And if you close your eyes with him, he sounds like Robin Williams talking.
Yeah.
That's 20.
Did that say Feynman?
Oh, Richard Feynman. Yeah, Sheldon's hero.
Sheldon's hero, yeah.
Do not turn around until you see light reflected on the hills.
Duck and cover.
Yeah.
Is it Vadim?
Yeah.
He's got like sunburn cream on. Good for him.
Yes.
He's probably the only one that did that.
Mm-hmm.
1.
Whoa.
Oh, look through.
Yeah. God, my ears almost popped there for a second. It seemed like, right?
I love how they did that.
Yeah. But none of the sound of the explosion, right?
It'll reach them in a second.
Yeah, oh, true.
Wow. Strangely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like watching a flower bloom.
Mm-hmm. It's like waves. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Wouldn't that hit the little town too? How far is the town?
Not sure.
Far enough, hopefully.
Yeah, because they said... There we go. Well, boys, we did it. And the world was never the same.
I mean, aside from the horrificness of it, it must be something to
work
so hard on these kind of projects, right? And then have it work. And
well, I don't know. He just said to tell you to bring in the sheets.
With respect, Dr. Oppenheimer, we'll take it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until they don't. I'll be like, I want to go home now. I don't want to live in this town anymore.
Yeah.
An American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima. The bomb had more power than 20,000 tons of TNT.
Oh, people in the stands, their feet pounding.
Okay.
So he
That's what that is.
they were heaping praise on him, but he feels ashamed.
Oh, okay.
So he keeps like flashing back to it, I think.
Yeah. Does he look anything like the real Oppenheimer? I don't think I've ever seen the real
You know what?
Oppenheimer.
Before we started, I was just looking up on Google, and actually he looks remarkably like him.
It's too soon to determine what the results of the bombing are. But I'll bet the Japanese didn't like it.
He doesn't know what else to say, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
I just wish we had it in time to use against the Germans.
Oh, the silence is so effective.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Oh dear. That's like Sarah Connor's nightmare.
Yeah. Just losing it, eh?
Yeah. Well, just like the enormity of what this represents is.
Yeah.
Nice picture. President Truman will see you now.
Ooh.
Who's playing?
Yeah, I wonder who's playing Truman. Because that announcement they put on, that was real.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah, the actual audio, but
Dr. Oppenheimer,
Of course, like a Gary Oldman.
Oh, God.
He played Churchill, now he's playing Truman.
I feel that I have blood on my hands.
Why is he telling him that? Like, what's the point of that, right?
Wow.
He's not going to sympathize at all.
Trying to appeal to his humanity. And...
Yeah.
You think anyone in Hiroshima or Nagasaki gives a shit who built the bomb? They care who dropped it. I did.
Don't let that crybaby back in here.
Jesus. Well, he didn't represent himself very well. He stuttered and stammered and said a couple of things and then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it must have been a blow for the world. The world? What does Fuchs mean to the rest of the world? Klaus Fuchs, the British scientist that you put onto the implosion team at Los Alamos. Turns out he was spying for the Soviets the whole time. I'm sorry.
So that's the leak, I guess.
How could Borden get access to Oppenheimer's FBI file? Could it have been Nichols?
No, I can imagine him do that.
There were many who thought themselves lucky, who climbed out of the ruins of their homes, only slightly injured.
But tumors and cancer and...
They died days or weeks later from iridium-like rays emitted in great numbers at the...
Yeah, because if you're close enough to see the explosion, then you're
in trouble, yeah.
Just Borden, when we all know that it's Strauss. And then you humiliated him in front of Congress.
But more useful than a sandwich.
Oh.
It wasn't Nichols or Hoover, one of Truman's guys. It was you. You gave the file to Borden. You set him on Oppenheimer. You convinced him.
Borden didn't take any convincing.
There's nothing new here.
Your conclusions will be. You can't give Oppenheimer a platform. You can't martyr him. We need a systematic destruction of Oppenheimer's credibility so he can...
Yeah, smiling, shaking his hand, pretending to be his friend. And
Shabby little room, far from the limelight. Tell Oppenheimer his security clearance is not be renewed, but offer him the chance to appeal.
Teller's testifying this morning. That'll help. And then Hill is in the afternoon.
Hill is going to help us too.
I'm sorry it's come to this, Robert. I think it's wrong.
But what are they trying to do here? Discredit him?
Yeah.
Is that all? Like, is that not all, but is that what the point of this is?
Yeah, because his security clearance is up for renewal, so discredit him
So
and
they
kind of
brought it up to-
remove him as a problem for the powers that be.
Right.
We will now hear from Dr. David Hill. Dr. Hill, would you care?
I've been asked to testify about Louis Strauss, but I believe that much I have to say will help to indicate why most of the scientists in this country would prefer to see Mr. Strauss completely out of government.
There we go.
Because of the personal vindictiveness he demonstrated against Dr. Oppenheimer. Strauss turned to the personnel security system in order to destroy Oppenheimer's effectiveness.
He likes it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly disagreed with him in numerous issues, and his actions frankly appeared to me confused and complicated. To this extent, I feel I want to see the vital interests of this country in hands which I understand better and therefore trust more.
Unlikely kind of respect between them.
You can answer that any way you wish.
I know that, thank you. It's your question. It's not properly phrased.
Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I do.
And why don't you answer it that
Because
way?
I don't like your phrase.
Yeah, it's a real broad thing. Yeah.
Intellectual communist and you're plain old regular commie.
Well, I couldn't answer that one.
I couldn't either.
You like her, or he likes her.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Well, at first she was like she wasn't going to even look at them, and then she just came out blazing.
I think she kind of lured him into thinking he had the higher position.
Yeah.
And then, and then
Yeah.
fired back. And,
Yeah.
Why would Hill come here to tear me down? What's his angle?
Do people need a reason to do the right thing?
There you go. Yeah.
Oppenheimer poisoned the scientists against me.
Oh boy. That's funny. The first half of the meeting, we're like, what a good guy, you know?
I know, but that's part of the, you know, the wolf in sheep's clothing. And
Yet you testified in here that the bombing of Hiroshima was very successful. Technically successful.
Oh!
Technically, it was very successful.
And it is also that
What the fuck does he want from him? Like,
We have voted 2-1 to deny the renewal of your security clearance.
Well, there were a couple of
did he
unexpected
get denied?
Who were the holdouts?
There were 3, led by the junior senator from Massachusetts. Young guy trying to make a name for himself, didn't like what you did to Oppenheimer.
What's his name?
Kennedy. John F. Kennedy.
whoa! Holy shit!
Get the F out.
Yep. Face the music.
Door hit in the ass on the way up. Yeah, here it is here.
Yeah.
They'll serve you salmon and potato salad.
Ooh.
Oh. Well, he must have got an order of the president or whatever. What do you call that? Oh.
It won't be for... It'll be for them.
Yeah. Nope. Good girl.
She was one tough cookie.
Yeah. What did he say? Just remember.
It won't be for you.
Yeah.
Because it's for them.
We thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world.
I remember it well. What happened?
I believe we did.
And he was so full of himself, Strauss, that he figured they were talking about him.
Everything was about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He turned the others against me. And
Yeah, like he had nothing better to do, you know? Wow. What a legacy to live with, eh?
Yeah.
Like they recruit him and everything else, and then when it comes down to it later on, they all turn on him, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Which they said, Oh. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering where Nolan just got like general research, or
Yeah,
I guess it's like a specific story that they.
I didn't realize about all that part about the Senate and everything. I just thought it was his story and how it happened. And
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him specifically, but I knew that like
whoever that Strauss guy, he don't come over.
No. Well, guys like McCarthy and all them. Looking for, I mean, look at Truman, like all these guys out for themselves, and
But he didn't even. I mean, they did, of course, use the bend of the communist thing.
Yeah, that was
but
just
Strauss didn't. He used everything else against him.
That was
too,
just
right?
a convenient way to get rid of him.
The subject of the moment, which was always hot, like a hot topic, right? So
exactly, modern day witch hunts and everything.
Yeah.
Because like Charlie Chaplin, a lot of famous figures were like blacklisted or had to leave America, and similar to say like Alan Turing in Britain, who was like a gay scientist, and he was say like persecuted and kind of like forced to kill himself, and just this legacy of like optics and things in the moment or associations, and that they kind of focus on. But alrighty, that was Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
suitably. Like weighty of a project, with just like the scale of the story and granted these are all real life people, but just like all the characters involved. Nolan does nothing small.
Yeah,
his movies are always big in scope.
Yeah,
big and like high ideas.
Yeah,
not the most exciting movie. I'll say that right now.
That's just it, and you have to.
It's a very dramatized biopic more than anything.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
but the acting was great. All the
absolutely
recognized so many of them, and they all did great.
Well, it's funny, like Cillian Murphy, I've seen him in several different projects, and he just really like embodied Oppenheimer in a really cool way. Because like before we started, I saw some pictures of like kind of comparing real life to the movie, and he looks like shockingly.
Does he look like him? Yeah,
much like him. Yeah. They've done some touches to like his cheekbones and like his hair to make him match what Oppenheimer looked like back in those days. But like really just and like the way he talks too is just so different from how he normally sounds.
I had a bit of trouble with, especially in the first half, there was so much.
The names.
It's now, and then it was then, and then the middle here, and then it was like all the time changes. I mean, I could tell, obviously he's got gray hair, she's got gray hair. Whatever,
yeah.
There was a lot of that where I was like,
Yeah, Nolan is similar to Tarantino in that he plays with like the nonlinear storytelling. Like let's say we'll show D before A, and then we'll go back to C, and then D, like all over the place. But this was kind of the not quite the most extreme I've seen of it, but it did definitely jump a lot of the place because there were certain like I really appreciated those moments when they say, "Oh, do you remember so and so?" and they would flash back to show the guy.
Yes,
because it's like
there's so many
characters to keep track of, and you know at a certain point there's only like 3-4 names that I actually kept track of. The rest was just faces, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if it was a woman, you'd remember right away because there was only like 3 of them in the whole.
True, but that does speak to the the historical era more than anything.
Yeah. And I thought that it was interesting the way they treated his affair with Florence Pugh, whatever. Jean, her name was Jean.
Jean, yeah.
And obviously she was killed. She was a communist, right?
Exactly, because like he said they found something in her blood that like I guess like contradicted the story of how she killed herself.
It would be a shot of whatever that was, and that she left a note but didn't sign it. He seemed to find that not plausible
that too,
either or something. Yeah,
because actually there was a while back I was reading on can't remember where, but like nowadays the CIA and certain groups have say like unsealed some of their documents, and like back in the day they were like batshit looking for. There was something like they called it a heart attack gun. It was like a gun that fired a piece of ice within which was I think it was like cone snail venom or some sort of venom that like it would be like a bullet. It would hit you. The venom would like kill you, and the ice would melt, leaving just like a tiny pinprick of a hole. Yeah. Like they were looking for all sorts of ways to kill or to like
without
mind
it
control
being an obvious way.
MK Ultra and everything like that. And it's just like I do appreciate how like the movie kind of draws a really large amount of attention to the fact that like the science and like the core, like okay, we need to win the war more than the Nazis. That was very very like let's say down on the list of priorities for all the politicians.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was all like the the political leanings and all the like, oh, what are we gonna do next? With the Soviets and that sort of, and like how they treat one of the greatest scientific intellectual minds of of the millennium, not even the century, because of certain views he might have held.
Yeah, and that weren't even connected. Like
no. He had a passing interest, but like he
as anybody might have then.
He said at the beginning he was like a traveler. He tried all different sorts of philosophies or math and whatnot, and But
it's all about the smear stuff, and I mean that's what it is now. It's not telling me what you can do for us or the country or whatever.
How does it look?
But it's that the other guy did this. He one time he went to and he. Whatever
the optics of it all,
something ridiculous stuff that has no bearing on anything that's running the country or whatever, right? So it's back then it was just the communist thing was the big thing, right?
Well, and the only difference nowadays compared to like this era is people are just a lot less subtle about it, and people are a lot less intelligent. They just start shouting things from the podium instead of at the very least you can say that Strauss was clever about it. He moved the proxies
absolutely, so it didn't look like he had his finger in it at all.
No. And it's just a very different role for Robert Downey Jr. I was very impressed with as we saw he became a villain, but just like how he carried himself was just very anti like Iron Man, very different from what he's become known for.
I must say, talking about Iron Man, when he was at the hearings for the first time there in the Senate.
Oh,
I was waiting for Justin Hammer to come in.
Thank you, Anthony.
Him to start yelling about
that too.
But
and then the guy who played Einstein was good. He was also in The Dark Knight Rises.
I've seen him a lot.
Yeah, he was fun. Too. And then also one of my favorite like small performances was Kenneth Branagh as Niels Bohr.
Yes,
because he only had like 2 or 3 scenes, but
his accent was spot on. I thought. I mean, I'm.
Especially in the last scene when he's like warning him of what's to come. Like he lends the whole situation enough like ominousness for what's about to come, because Oppenheimer is like focused on like say like the science and getting the job done, but then Niels Bohr comes in and kind of like gives him like a like a prophet warning about a flood.
I'm not helping you,
but he just says the world will be changed by this, and like they lend like sufficient weight to the fact that this is an age of humanity that has never been, and the world will never be the same again.
But it almost seemed to me too like he let's go ahead and do this, and then afterwards with the regret later. But it's like they can't see the regret or feel it until some of them did until after let's do it, and then maybe it's too late now.
I mean human beings in general I think struggle with very like abstract things, because like when we hear, like, let's say World War II, that tens of millions of people died, our brains can't properly comprehend
They're not all standing in front of me, so
No.
I can't comprehend that.
And for I think like what I said earlier, but like Oppenheimer and the others with him, like Feynman and all the others, like they're at the moment, like they're focused on the science of it all, or like how can we get this thing done. It's like a practical, like step 1 to 2 to 3.
They're scientists. That's what
Exactly.
they do,
And then it's not until they reach the end that they've actually built the thing that they can
government
see
steps in to try and push further
ramifications,
and in a
yeah.
teeny tiny smaller thing. Remember on Big Bang when they did for the government, and then they showed up one
Dean
day and
Norris.
everything was gone. As soon as it was made and done, we know nothing. We're not telling you anything.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just a disposable resource. So
Need you until we don't. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But this is one of the most like stacked casts I have ever seen in my entire life. Even like bit characters were like, oh hey, he was in, but like David Krumholtz and like running the range from like Kenneth Branagh and freaking Gary Oldman.
Yes.
For like one scene. All the way down to like the one guy who played Nichols, he was in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Just like everyone,
lots of good actors,
Christopher Nolan is one of those directors that everyone wants to work with.
Yeah.
So it's you can really tell that way. But yeah, Oppenheimer, not the most exciting one. I mean, for a guy who's directed the Dark Knight movies and Interstellar, it's very, very grounded, very real life. So
those are fantasy, and this is real. So
exactly, yeah, real life is boring.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But no, like at the end of the day, good performances. The visuals of the bomb going off, that was fantastic. I love what they did with sound with him and
because they were wondering when this movie was being made, how is he gonna show any kind of explosions?
It's funny because
right, because he didn't want any CGI, right?
Nolan is one of the directors who was like staunchly opposed to CGI. He uses it only when it is physically impossible to film something. Like in Interstellar, he would do stuff. So like it's just led to jokes like, for this one in particular, did you know that Christopher Nolan actually detonated an atomic device? Wow, I love his dedication to filmmaking. And similar to Christian Bale and like changing his body. It's like, oh, did you know he became the Mountain for this movie and stuff like that. But you can't deny the argument with the results. Yeah, just astounding. Boring but astounding is what I would call this film. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let us know what you liked about the movie. And that's all we have for you today. If you want to watch the full unedited reaction, I'll put a link down to our Patreon. And we will be seeing you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.